Hello and welcome to another episode of The Wave. I'm your host, Don Texon, coming to you live via Zoom from my home here in Port Alberni. And I'm here to bring you another episode of the wonderful Alberni Valley Experience. This week, we are featuring stories of people who have come here just recently and are loving it. They are loving and having their wonderful Alberni Valley experience. And they're here to share their story today. So with me today is a very special guest who I met online because I can't meet people in person anymore, but because of this crisis, I meet more people online. So with me today is Mr. Justin Papp. Did I say your name right, sir?
Yes, you did. Yes, you
Who
did.
is an online entrepreneur or business builder with Shopify and some other things as well, who had just moved here to Port Alberni and is now having his wonderful Alberni Valley experience. So welcome to the show, Justin. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to Port Alberni.
Right on. Well, first off, thanks for having me, Don. I appreciate you reaching out. And so jumping right into it, how I ended up here in Port Alberni.
Okay.
Was through a work conference that I actually had in Squamish, and never coming to actually BC before at that point. I decided that I was going to take some vacation time after and explore a little bit about, or I guess BC, and just see what kind of it was all about. And
okay, hold on for a bit. So
sure.
up to that point, you were in a business conference in Squamish.
Yes.
And originally you're from Ottawa.
Yes.
But you were born in Winchester, Ontario.
Yep.
Right. And then you were working and living in Ottawa.
Yes. Yep.
And because of the nature of your business, you had an opportunity to visit a conference, do a conference here in BC.
Yep.
In Squamish.
Exactly.
So is that the storyline where, okay. So you were there in Squamish, and the first time you were in BC as well?
Yes. Yeah. First
Which was
time visiting
when?
BC as well. Pardon?
Which was when?
That would have been, let me see, that would have been in April 2017.
Okay, so April 2017, from Ottawa, Mr. Justin flies to BC for a conference. And then what happened next?
Yeah, well, first off, Squamish is just amazing. So I was just dumbfounded, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Did you go to the Chief? Did you climb the Chief?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
I did. I did a hike in the morning before one of the days of the conference. It was kind of rainy and cloudy, so like the view wasn't like totally amazing, but it was still phenomenal, and I was just like enthralled by the nature that I was surrounded by. So that was pretty awe-inspiring.
Okay, so up until that time, when you came in April to British Columbia, so that was the first time you were discovering why we call it beautiful British Columbia.
Exactly. I had actually seen like a BC license plate before, and I just was like, this is amazing. Because like in Ontario, it's just as yours to discover.
Okay.
All right, sure. But like, yeah, I was beautiful British Columbia. I'm like, yeah, they state it, and it's
yeah, exactly. So in Ontario, that's what they say in their nameplates. Their nameplates, their license plates.
In Ontario. Yeah, yours to discover. That's kind of
okay. Fine. Sure. And here you were like beautiful British Columbia.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a move sometime to change it to supernatural British Columbia, but I didn't catch on. So it's still beautiful British Columbia. I remember when I came to Canada for the first time in 1993, it already said that, beautiful British Columbia. And I was curious, and I asked my cousin, who had been living here for about 10, 15 years, I said, why does it say beautiful British Columbia on your license plates? And his simple answer was, because it is.
It's true. That's it. Simple answer.
Okay.
Right to the
point. But it got better. So tell me how that led to coming to Port Alberni.
Yeah. So coming to Port Alberni was it's kind of a cool story. I had two friends that I went to high school with in Ontario that I kind of grew up with in the later years of high school. One of my really good friends, his dad actually he still owns one of the transmission shops here in Port Alberni, like BA Transmissions. So every summer he would leave because his mom lived in Ontario, his dad lived in BC, so he would go to school, do all his stuff, you know, during the year, and then summertime he would go to BC. So I was like, okay, cool. It was just kind of a normal thing. So when I came to BC, he had already moved to Port and you know, was living here, and started basically as a real estate agent here. Soon after, I had another friend who came and visited him and moved here shortly after as well.
So something's going on.
Exactly, right? Exactly. So I have these two friends that are living in this place called Port Alberni. And at the time, like I said, I had never been to British Columbia. And they were like, yo, we live on Vancouver Island, you know, and I was just like, what? Vancouver has an island? Like, I just had no concept that there was this like giant island with tons of people, like just right off kind of like the coast. So I was like, yo, this sounds awesome. So they were like, come visit. We want to see you. You would absolutely love this place. And so I was like, all right, I'll do it. So when the conference ended, I drove to the ferry, hopped on this ferry, figured out it was an hour and a half long. And I was like, okay, good distance. And then kind of realized like, oh my gosh, there's just like this giant Vancouver island that just is there. Like, I was like, whoa, this is pretty awesome. My friends met me in Nanaimo, you know, started driving me back, and just to drive back in itself, I just was starting to be like, whoa, like this is cool. Like, cause I had only been on
Cameron Lake, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Cameron
and Cathedral
Lake.
Grove.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I had only done the sea to sky highway. I'm going to Squamish from Vancouver. So this was just like more remote. And then, yeah, I got to Cathedral Grove and we stopped there and they're like, you got to check this out. And I was just like, oh my God. Like I was blown away. I'm like, this is Jurassic Park. There's absolutely like these trees are literally older than any building or anything we have in Canada. These things, like, you can go to other cultures. I've been to Asia and Thailand, and you see, you know, like this is thousands of years old, this building or this temple or whatever. But then here in Canada, we have none of that, right? So, but we have these trees that are alive that, you know, can be 800 years old. It just blew my mind, you know, that I could see this living thing that like stood before me. So that was in itself was just an awesome moment. And I was like, what? And then from there, we just come over the hump and we're right in Port Alberni. I was like, yo, what? Like, I expected it to be so much farther away, but like, you know, you just a quick little drive and I was like where they lived. And I'm like, this is amazing. So from that, it kind of just triggered, like, I am in nature, you know, just being out here with the trails and everything. So my friends are really great. I was here for 7 days and they both kind of like organized together to each spend a bit of time with me, and pretty much like brought me up to the lookout. They brought me to like Beaver Creek.
The hole in the wall.
Yes, the hole in the wall.
Okay.
All these trails around. I can't even remember which ones I did, but I was just like, I just went for hikes and was just like, oh my God, like I could never
soaked up all the nature that you could possibly get.
Absolutely. I grew up in the country in Ontario, but it's all farmland. There's no trees. There's nothing. There's like, I would be so lucky to find like think of the worst trail we have in Port Alberni. Like that would be a goal.
There's no such thing.
No, exactly. Right. Exactly. So, so I was just like, oh my goodness, like this is absolutely incredible. So yeah, spent the week doing that. They brought me to Tofino as well. We did a little bit of surfing, which is really cool. As you see, I love like board sports and all that stuff. So I'd never surfed before. I'm like, I got to try, you know, I got to do this. And, yeah, just absolutely had a blast, went to the rainforest walk, all that jazz. And really like from that moment on, I realized like this is amazing. Like this is the tropics of Canada. Like this, you don't really, this is the island life of Canada, which like in my mind, you know, I'm thinking I got to move to Hawaii or Jamaica or Bali or something to get this kind of like cool vibe. But I realized, yo, this is just in Canada. And being as fortunate as I was, with working with Shopify, I had the ability to change from working in office to switching to remotely.
Cool.
Yeah, so having that ability, when I got back to Ontario after the trip, I pretty much was just like, I'm going to sell all my stuff. I am going to have basically nothing, and I'm going to buy a van. I'm going to strip it out, build a little camper van, and I'm going to drive across Canada and just wing it and just move to Port Alberni. It's like, whatever. So I did just that. And
so when did his journey start? Sometime in May or June or something?
Yeah. So after I returned, I pretty much started setting in motion the things I had to get done in order to come out here and move out here. So first off, was just like telling my family and just like, hey, I'm actually going to move to BC. Like, and basically like the farthest point I could go west, like and even farther. Like, so that I had a many things, living in Ottawa for 8 years. So yeah, selling all that material, garbage and all that stuff, and whittling it down to what I could literally fit in a van. And I have a big dog too, and I was like, hey, he's coming with me, obviously. So
is he there now?
Is he? Oh, he's here now. Yeah, he's hanging out. Yeah. So he's not in the room with me, but yeah. So I did exactly that. Purchased a van, stripped it all out, built a beds, storage, and packed up everything pretty much that I had and could fit in there. And yeah, and took off. I would say it took off about I think it was like September 27th.
Oh, and, wow.
Yeah, and I decided to just hit every kind of provincial park along the way and international park. So I just stayed in Canada and basically just like zigzagged through all the provinces. Yeah, until I got here to Port Alberni and just showed up one sunny day and knocked on my friend's door.
I mean, that's quite the adventure. I mean, I seldom find young people as young as you, because you're only 29, right? I mean, that's pretty young, more or less. But I mean, I've even come across people like in their 30s already. They don't know what to do. They don't know, they don't have any direction or any plan or whatever. They're just coasting along. But here you are, 29 years old. And Port Alberni triggered something in you, I suppose.
It did, absolutely. So, it's just like coming from Ottawa or coming from Ontario, at the minimum, you come out here and you see so much nature, you see so much trees, mountains. Yeah, like when I came to visit as well, like my buddies we were lucky enough to go up like Aerosmith to a certain point, and still I was like, what? Like, this is a huge mountain and it's like right outside of town. Like this is like a postcard minus all the logging patches, but yeah, it's like a postcard, with the view.
Yeah, right.
This is incredible. But yeah, it just set something off in me, and I need to take this opportunity to, live and explore and take a risk and just make the move. So yeah, because being in the city for 7 years, I got pretty stagnant. It was like kind of like what you're saying, like where do I go from here? Like what's kind of like the next step? And yeah, so it was a very, very big lifestyle change, but only in the direction that I wanted to. So it made a lot of sense for sure.
And you're happy for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So happy. You say categorically that you are having a wonderful Alberni Valley experience?
Absolutely.
That is so refreshing to hear, because I hear so many people here who complain, Port Alberni's this and Port Alberni's boring and Port Alberni's that. They don't know what they're talking about. I mean, most of them don't. They're just, stuck in their own old way of thinking.
Exactly. It is there's always things, you can always look at the glass half empty if you want to. And there are a lot of, towns on Vancouver Island, but Port Alberni in itself is an exceptional place. And when I came here as well, my friends told me like, this is the only way to get to Tofino.
Yeah, for sure.
Over 1 million cars drive through here, every year. And in my mind, like, I'm just going back to like working for Shopify, building websites. I'm like, what? I'm like, if I had a website and I knew 1 million people would visit my website, that's a huge opportunity to sell something on that website. So in my mind, I'm thinking like business, like this is the town. If you have a really
Port
good,
Alberni is sort of like the hub because we're mid-island.
Exactly.
So
So it's
everybody
like,
going. So I used to run an Airbnb myself,
oh,
and
cool.
I would get like so many visitors during the whole like the summer, like the whole 3 months, 4 months of summer. People are coming in and out, in and out. They're on the way to Tofino, on the way to Victoria. But Port Alberni would be the most affordable place to stay in because we're not that expensive unless you book a place in Tofino, which is usually fully booked during the summer anyways.
Absolutely. Yep.
So what they do is they book a place in Port Alberni, make a day trip to Tofino, which is only 2 hours away, come back to Port Alberni, then go to Victoria. So I mean, this is just such an strategic place to be in as far as the island is concerned.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you're aware that actually Queen Elizabeth, before she became queen, came to Port Alberni when she was still the Duchess of Edinburgh in sometime 19 whatever.
A long time ago.
A long time ago.
Probably when this place
was parading like down Argyle, you know, waving little Duchess a hand and having a wonderful Alberni Valley experience back then.
Absolutely. That's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, the valley is rich with so many stories and historical gems. And I'm glad you found yourself. So tell me, how are you feeling about Port Alberni now that you've been here for basically 2-3 years now, right?
Yep. Coming up to
3 years come October, because you came here in October of 2017.
Yeah.
And have you already known how many mountains we have? Because we are a valley, so we are surrounded by mountains. So there's Copper Mountain, there's Dogwood Mountain, I think. Then there's Arrowsmith, of course. And there's so many. There's Mount Klitsa, and so many other mountains. I mean, I know in other parts of the country, they don't have a single mountain. They might have a hill.
Yep, exactly.
Or something, a little bit of elevation. But I say here in Port Alberni, take your pick.
Exactly. For sure. So many options.
You're looking for mountains, start counting. You're looking for lakes, start counting. Have you been to Stone Lake yet?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was there. Well, I guess I wasn't supposed to be there over the weekend, but I pulled over and on the road and brought my dog for a swim. So, cause it was quite hot.
What kind of dog do you have?
He's a lab and Bernese Mountain Dog mix. So
cool.
He's a big boy. So, but really nice.
Port Alberni has quite a considerable population of pet, like dog lovers here too.
Yeah.
And you know, those dogs enjoy the trails just as well.
Exactly. So like, being here for almost 3 years, I definitely was kind of like, I could definitely stay here for a while. And as I mentioned, my friend that lived here beforehand, he's a real estate agent, and I was living in his basement when I first came here. And, he was selling houses and just talking. So then I was like, man, I think I'm going to jump on it. So after living here for only 8 months, me and another friend, we went in 50-50 and bought a house because we're just like, hey, we're going to be here for a while. Why not?
Good, there you go. So after 8 months, you bought a house already?
Yep, exactly.
Well, good for you.
I love Port Alberni so much that I bought a house and gave up my first-time buyer home credit because I hadn't lived here for a year yet. So.
Oh, really? Is that how it works?
Yeah, unfortunately, if you
have to live here for a year first?
You have to live in a specific province for a year, and then if you buy property.
Oh my goodness, that's how much you love Port Alberni. Wow.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good. But it's been totally worth it. I live up near Cherry Creek at the end of the road, so there's just like from here, it's literally a 2-minute walk from my door. And I get to trails. I could get to the inlet trail. I could get up Arrowsmith from here if I really wanted. So
that's perfect.
Yes, it's perfect with the dog too, and it's just amazing. So I feel very, very fortunate.
Such an amazing story. I'm sure most of our viewers can truly relate and appreciate your story. Now, since you've been so nice to come on the show, I'd like to give you the opportunity to tell us about your business, how we can. Support you and help out in the business and get on board with whatever you can do for us too.
Awesome. Yeah,
I understand some of my friends are with you, some of my business owner friends. I don't know if you're familiar with Gail's Fashions. I think they were Shopify, and then actually it
Yeah.
was Gail who told me about you.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I worked with Gail, well, mostly Rebecca, so her daughter,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
actually get them
Have you
online.
been in
So
touch with the Power of Three yet? Jessica. Yeah.
yes, I go there for yoga and have gotten a massage there once or twice. And I've talked to them about getting on Shopify and doing those things. So we've had the conversation. I think they're still on possibly WordPress, but um,
Yeah.
So yeah, speaking on that,
Well,
yes,
I think Shopify is, I saw it on the news. Like Shopify, everybody's jumping on board to Shopify. So I'd like to give this chance for you to like tell us about Shopify and what you can do for the community.
cool. Yeah, absolutely. So what Shopify is a commerce platform. So whether you sell online or in person, Shopify gives you the ability to do both of those things. So right now with the whole COVID situation, Shopify knows it can make a pretty big impact. And that's why lots of people are jumping on because they want to get their businesses online. So what we've kind of done and what businesses can do locally, maybe that are struggling right now, that aren't really sure about, how to still make sales in this time. It's to use Shopify. Right now it's free for 90 days. So you literally get 3 months of this platform free. You could sell through it, everything that you wanted through the free trial, which is awesome. You could try it out for 90 days. Allows you to then create like a website. Right now, that's obviously what you'd want to do is get your business online, website with your products. If you're a salon or a service, and maybe right now, you can't see your clients or your customers, you can sell gift cards. It's totally free to offer gift cards on your site, which people could purchase now to support you and then use later once this blows over. And it also awesome other ability that it has is pickup and drop offs.
Okay.
Yeah, so like what a lot of restaurants are doing here and some other businesses is giving your customers who are checking out online instead of having choosing shipping and like waiting when it's just like down the road. You could offer a pickup.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So we're trying to really give features that are really going to benefit businesses right now so they can just start selling again, bring in that profit kind of thing. So so I would say any business who's maybe struggling right now, doesn't really know where to go, has a good client base, it's really important to get online for sure and just expand and broaden where your customers can reach out to you. So I'd suggest anyone check it out. Free 24/7.
So where do they go, or like do they look up a website? Do they call you?
Just go to shopify.ca, and we are a Canadian site, so created in Ottawa, so it's pretty awesome there. Just go there.
So you mean to tell me Shopify is made in Canada?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yay.
Exactly.
Okay. Support local.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty cool.
So I'm curious, how did your career with Shopify start?
Oh, great question. So when I lived in Ottawa, I used to actually work as a physiotherapist assistant. I worked within like the rehabilitation within like the Ottawa hospital. And then I had a coworker who was like, hey man, I want to start like an apparel brand to sell clothing. And he kind of pitched this idea to me and I was like, yeah, that sounds sweet. I'm in. And he's like, okay, you're responsible for the website. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll figure this out. So I went online, did some research. I had a brother, or sorry, I should say my sister's boyfriend at the time, who's now my brother-in-law. He worked for Shopify and was like, hey man, check out Shopify. I'm like, what the heck is that? And he showed it to me and I was like, yo, this is awesome. He showed me some of the integrations, what it could do to sell clothes online. And I was just sold. So I basically used the platform to start one of my first brands called Think Talk Clothing. And it was just streetwear, apparel, kind of like a cool vibe going on. I had no background in any of this, right? I was like healthcare, so I had no idea what I was doing.
Wow.
So use the platform, built out the brand and the site, all that jazz. It was pretty good. And then shortly after, about 4 months after, that same person who kind of like told me about Shopify said like, hey, we have an opportunity. We're hiring if you wanted to be like a customer success representative. And I was like, okay. You know, it was kind of like a step down a little bit in terms of kind of where I was in my career, but I didn't really see it like that. I viewed it as more like, hey, this is a tech startup. It's a new company. And, you know, I'm sure there's lots of potential for growth. So, you know, working in the healthcare field is very much like, this is what you can do based on the piece of paper you have, versus tech. It's, you know, there's a lot of potential. It's kind of like the rat race. So if you develop skills and you have great ideas, like you can kind of go up the ladder and like exceed, like have more responsibilities and have a big impact. So I was like, hey, I'm going to take this opportunity. And I did that. And it's been about 5 years. And I kind of worked my way up into specific positions. And kind of right now I focus my majority on migrating other businesses to Shopify. So whether they're coming from Squarespace or Wix or WooCommerce or like another e-commerce platform, I basically help them move over to Shopify. So we have a lot of offerings that other people can't really compete with. So some businesses, they look at it and they say, okay, I want to make the move for sure. So I basically help them do that. So
when it comes to like tech support, is that's available as well from Shopify? Like,
absolutely.
I'm a store, for example, and I have like 4,000, 5,000 items in my store. Will Shopify have a facility to help me with the inventory, posting of the products and stuff like that? Will they do that?
So we can help you do it. We can walk through it with you. So one awesome thing about Shopify that really sets us apart is we have 24/7 support. So no, like Christmas Day, anytime you want to call and work on your business, we understand like entrepreneurs don't run 9 to 5. Like people do side hustles after work. They're late at night. Like you shouldn't have to wait to talk to someone. So, you know, we offer 24/7. Any questions, whether it's about inventory, how to get your products to Shopify, how to sell through Facebook or Instagram, or you want to link up to Amazon, let's say, you can call in and talk to someone and we will most definitely be happy to help you answer your questions and kind of move forward with you. So, and it's pretty great. And there's no like push 5 for billing or push 2 for what tech support. It's just like you talk to a Shopify guru who knows the entire platform.
Now is Shopify, so you got me curious, because is Shopify only for people who have something to sell or for other stuff as well, like to promote your channel or promote your services or something like that?
Yeah, great question. So Shopify is a commerce platform. So it is primarily towards selling. But again, that can be a digital product, that can be a physical product, that can be a service. It can really be anything, any kind of offering that you have that you are going to have a transaction happen. You'd be using Shopify. So not really for just informational. There's a lot of other platforms you could use that are just like completely free, like WordPress or Squarespace. To have like a promotion site. But once you start selling, Shopify is the way to go. Okay.
Well, thank you, Justin. This has been very, very interesting. Let me just check for the time. Oh,
you're welcome.
I'm almost over. We're supposed to be 30 minutes. I'm seeing my clock is 43 minutes, but that's okay.
So I talk a lot.
No. It was a great conversation. But the YouTube doesn't give me a time limit anyway. I'm the one limiting myself per episode, but it depends on the topic and the person I'm interviewing. And this has been very, very interesting. I might be able to do another part 2, actually.
Sure, I can get into my hobbies. So
that too. So I'm sure we'll know more about you, the new arrival to Port Alberni, and I hope that your wonderful Alberni Valley experience continues to become bigger and better. Welcome to the Valley on behalf of all the people in Port Alberni as well. Have you met our mayor yet?
I have actually.
Oh, really?
I've met her twice.
Okay, there you go.
I'm part of the Alberni Valley Young Professionals. I said that right. WAVE. So yeah, I jumped into that when I first got here, and that's been awesome. And then I went to Brie and Barrel for their vegan night, one of the last times they had it, because one of the chefs comes from Tofino, from
Yes.
Bravocados. So I'm actually friends with her.
Okay, there you go.
I surfed with her and I do free diving, and we've done a bit of free diving together out in Tofino. But yeah, so she was in, I went, Sherry was there, and had a good conversation with her, and just similar to what we're having here. She's like, I'm so glad you moved here. We need more young people. I'm like, yeah, for sure.
If I'm not mistaken, she is the youngest mayor in BC.
Oh yeah, I believe it for sure. I don't know how old she is.
I'm not that sure. Although I am upset at my Google Home, because I asked my Google Home assistant. On the phone, it comes out. But when I ask my Google Home assistant, she does not know who the mayor of Port Alberni is. Damn. I am shocked. I am dumbfounded. I have asked it every day since. It still will not give me an answer. But it knows the mayor of Qualicum. It knows the mayor of Coquitlam. It knows the mayor of Courtney and Comox or whatever. But it does not know the mayor of Port Alberni. How dare her?
It probably has to do with a bit of the SEO related.
I don't know, but how come they know? Even Qualicum is smaller than Port Alberni, but they know, she knows the mayor of Port Alberni. If you do it to your phone, it will come up. Mm-hmm. But if I do it to, even Alexa doesn't know who the mayor of Port Alberni is. I don't know who the techie guy. Tell me, who do I talk to correct Alexa?
Yeah, exactly. That's fine.
Anyway, it was nice talking to you, Justin. I hope we do this again sometime, and maybe sometime just meet up somewhere with 6 feet apart.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll reach out to you when all this social distancing is relaxed a little bit more. I have a big garden where I have my barbecues for all my friends. So I'll reach out to you and have you over for a barbecue. And you bring your dog. My yard is friendly.
Yeah, he's super friendly. But yeah, thanks a ton, Don. I appreciate chatting with you. And again, like this whole the wave, it just makes me like love Port even more, to see that people are grateful and there's appreciation around this town. So
have you been to Charles Landing yet? Charles Landing is another place you should have been.
I have. I've been there twice for 2 different events. There was a musical event, some artist was there, and then a friend of a friend, she had a pressed events. She had kind of like a I forget what it is even about, but yeah, I was there for that as well. So yeah, I've been there. It's cool. I like the vibe. Very, very nice. There's definitely some cool, unique spots in Port Alberni. It just makes it for sure cooler, so.
All right. Thank you again. I hope we can do this again sometime. That's all the time we have for today for this interview. We will catch you next time on The Wave. For everybody out there watching, continue to have a wonderful Alberni Valley experience, because it's here for you.